StarCast is proudly sponsored by DoghouseSystems.com. If you use the code StarCast or Biscuit at checkout, you will get double memory on your next Doghouse System. And also TweakedAudio.com. Go to TweakedAudio.com for high-performance noise-reducing earbuds. Use our code StarCast and get 30% off plus free shipping on your entire order. And finally, SC2QuoteOfTheDay.com. Daily quotes from the StarCraft 2 community. The site may suck, but the quotes are sick. And make sure to go check out their t-shirts in their new store. Once again, that's SC2QuoteOfTheDay.com, and we thank them for their support. Sponsor an episode of StarCast at thestarcast.com.
Hell, it's about damn time for StarCast.
Incoming transmission.
Biscuit.
Welcome back, everyone, to the 155th episode of StarCast, the StarCraft podcast. I'm Garrett Weinzierl, and with me, as always, is Kyle Fergusson. Kyle, sir, welcome back.
Thank you. Welcome back to you as well.
Thanks. I don't get welcome to my own show very often.
I know, but it's nice. Hold the door open for you once in a while.
Well, if I welcomed myself, that'd be rather masturbatory.
Yeah, well, then you're that guy stuck holding the door for all the old people, and they just keep coming. Like, all right, I was planning to do it for my girlfriend. All right, yeah, thank you, sir. Yep, all right.
And they're almost done, and you're like, oh, sweet, it's almost over. And then you see that person that's in the electric scooter that doesn't have enough charge, but it's just close enough where it would be rude to not keep holding the door.
Yep.
That's when I let go and run over and smack the handicap button so the door all the way to the far right opens on its own. I'm just like, good enough. We're good.
That works. You know what I haven't seen in a while is those old rubber step pads to open grocery store doors.
Rubber step. Oh, you're right. The pressure-sensitive ones.
Yeah.
All the Kmarts used to have those here in Florida.
I haven't seen Kmart in a long time either.
We still have a few of those here, but they no longer have their pressure-activated doors. But, yeah, those things were fun. I used to jump on those over and over again when I was a bratty little child. Such is life.
Well, it had two big feet on it. What else were you supposed to do but slam those things as hard as possible? That's probably why they broke, actually. Probably why they're gone. Children
and their needless obsession of buttons. Can I press it? I'm gonna press it. But, yeah. So what's new with you, dude? It's a new week.
It is a new week. We're getting into spring, summer. It's still cold here in Chicago, but man, I want to be outside. I want to be feeling the wind in my hair. So...
Oh, my little brother graduated high school this past week, further solidifying my horror that I am now old. And, well, I had to go and set up for the graduation party, which means hanging out on my parents' property, which in the middle of summer feels a lot like you're standing in a swamp.
Well, you are in a swamp.
I got more of the outside than I cared for. I'm all right with my AC set to 72, just chilling in my office right now. That's where I want to be.
So empty nest then? Is that the last one?
Yes. Yeah, it's just me and him. We're the only two kids in of my parents. So, grats to him, by the way. I don't think he listens, but Chase, if you're listening, grats, dude. That is awesome. So.
Oh man, high school.
Yeah. Well, the even more horrifying thing is I just 2 weeks ago went and visited a married couple that I'm friends with. I'm actually friends with both of them. I introduced them to each other, and they had their first kid. So I went to go see the child.
Oh my!
And the husband's younger than me, so I'm just like, oh, this is weird.
Oh no!
Just gee, there.
Man, I feel like I'm part of a race right now because, as you know, my wedding's coming up in November. Mm-hmm. But damn it, younger people, stop announcing you're getting married sooner on Facebook. Like, it's not a race. Just let me have my moment.
There's been so many people getting married lately. It's absurd.
It's the time of our lives.
I don't get it. Like, I'm just like, I mean, I'm down with marriage. I would like to get married one day, but I'm just like, man, just happening right and left.
I know.
Oh well, weddings are fun for the most part, usually. Until your grandmother gets drunk and racist.
Or just racist.
Or just
racist. Have to get drunk for that.
Well, it gets a lot uglier when there's
sure.
alcohol involved. If you take anything away from today's episode, it's alcohol makes racism worse.
That's true. Probably. I'm
other-
sure there's been studies done.
Yeah, I don't know about that particularly, but the ugly truth tends to come out.
Well, let's grab this conversation by the reins and bring it back on over. How's your ladder going?
I actually haven't played at all recently, and I'm glad you asked, because I have picked up a new strategy game recently.
Oh?
I finally got XCOM.
Oh, I see. Okay.
That game. Have you played it, right?
Yeah, I was the one telling you to get it already.
Okay. I haven't had a game where there haven't been other players involved that has made me this angry since oh Jesus, I don't even know when. Like The Force Unleashed. And that was because that game was broken.
Yeah, dude. Oh, man. I judge every game based on the design of its hard mode, and that thing was atrocious.
I'm on normal with saves, and I'm having a hard time. Am I just bad at the game, or does it seem like every now and then you just make a move and it's like, oh, there was 8 guys there. I guess I'm screwed.
No, yeah, you just get completely just knocked around in the middle of this cluster, and then the block mechanic doesn't even work that well. I mean, if you're going to have a third-person action game, you got to have, like, Kratos-style blocking where the second those swords go up, it doesn't matter where things come from, but you are defended.
Yeah, that's... It is... Yeah, chat room's kind of agreeing with me that the punishment level of XCOM seems a little wonky. I'm really enjoying it, but dear God, sometimes I'm just like, there was no strategy to this. There's literally no way I could see that coming.
Well, it's a lot like StarCraft in the sense that if you don't know the rhythm of the game and you're building your first Marine at minute 6 and you're like, well, this makes sense because I watched my SCV build a depot and then I watched him do this, and you're not multitasking in the background, you're going to get screwed. And that's what happened to me in XCOM 2. I fell so far behind on my first playthrough, and I can't not play Iron Man, so I never like reload anything. I'm just like, damn it. When someone dies, I want it to be big important. You know, big salute to Collateral, my first heavy, and he died with a crit to the face, and I'll never be the same.
Yeah, it's rough, man. It's rough. I've been saving and reloading like crazy, and I'm still having a hard time.
Well, I know when I got in StarCraft the other night, you were in a 23-minute long 3v3, so at least it was okay, I assume.
Yeah,
I got past the 16-minute cheese mark in 3v3.
Yeah, it got pretty intense. I've had some intense teams, but that's about as far as StarCraft as usual, as per is the usual of how I play casually. It's been a lot of team games.
Nice. Well, my ladder has been going well. It's a crazy world out there right now. Of course, it is mid-season, so people are trying all sorts of wacky new things, knowing that they really can't get demoted out of their group. So, and then I tried out the Warp Prism map, actually. And, well, the first time I tried it, I picked Zerg, and the guy started it, and he was not Protoss. So that was completely pointless, and I left. But then I decided to be Protoss and fought a Terran.
Okay, well, there you go. I was about to say.
The speed is okay. I'm not really feeling this idea. It's just like, let's make them all Terran. Let's just give everyone a medevac so we're all on the even footing. It's just not what I want. What I would rather have is like the Mothership Core's warp ability goes anywhere, but it takes like 20 seconds of like lightning bolts and lasers hitting the ground, kind of like Nidus Worm style. But then that would be like the Nidus Worm. So I'm not sure what you can do to give Protoss the mobility.
I don't feel like Warp Prism will ever be quite like the medevac or Overlord drops for that matter, because no one out there is going to build like 4 Warp Prisms and load it up.
No, not when you can warp in, just bring a couple and then warp in the rest when you get there.
It's all about having one and protecting that one. So I'm kind of behind this acceleration thing, because the way, in my mind, the way I think that the Warp Prism should work, that this is just reinforcing its intended use.
Yeah, it's fast as hell now, though. And that acceleration is amazing. You can the transform time is still the same to go out of being able to warp in and then travel mode.
Yeah.
But because of that acceleration, you're booking the second that's done.
Yeah.
And hey, at the cost of 2,000 or 2 200 minerals. Why not just make a bunch of them?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't take any gas. Load that up with some gas-heavy units and own face.
If it promotes more harassment by Protoss that doesn't involve an Oracle right now, I'm all for it.
Well, and the Oracle's not going to get him out of the base, and that's the problem right now.
Yeah.
And it's sad to see in pro games, too, because you have this Protoss where they don't really do their Forge Fast Expand anymore. Kind of works, but not really. So they're not even that well established on a second base when they're already locked in.
I gotcha. All right. Wait. Okay, sorry. I had an issue with XSplit there for a moment. Took my attention away. But that's cool. I'm glad you've been giving the new Warp Prism a shot. I've been talking to some Protoss buddies who are like, yeah, I'm down with it. Of course, anyone who plays Protoss regularly is up for a buff.
Yeah, I mean, no one's going to complain about that, other than, of course, the Battlenet forums. Oh my goodness, I don't know why I did this to myself.
Why do you do that?
I don't know. It's like this tick I have, and every few weeks I'm like, I'm going to check what the Battlenet forums has to say about this. How about that? And of course, one of the first things I run across every time is the Blizzard, you just lost a player. And it's, come on. First of all, it's not a subscribe-based game, so you can't, taunt them with taking away the money in the first place.
Oh, crap, dude. We lost one Legacy of the Void purchase, but that guy's going to be back.
Yeah, right? And this guy's biggest complaint was that he lost his game versus Void Rays with a bunch of corruptors. I guess that makes sense if you're coming out of Wings of Liberty, but have you seen the Void Rays? They're amazing.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah, they're pretty hot.
I want them to be less amazing so I can actually build the Tempest.
Yeah.
There's no reason. Oh, well, other than to get 2, maybe 3, so I can really do some awesome, kapah, electric snipes on some massive units.
Yeah, they're good for, long-range harass, but yeah, they're not very...
Well, they're just so slow.
They're not the hot jam right now, yeah. And with especially in ZVP, there's so much Muda play out. You're just like, well, I would need to get so much to defend the Tempest because there's no way they're escaping, and it's special.
Yep. So, word on the street from the Battlenet forums on this patch is it's terrible, we hate it, and they just like to hate everything. And and if you're not masters, you don't deserve to comment on anything.
Okay.
It's this weird feeling on that forums, man. If you're masters, you're good. You can comment on anything, including pro players who are well above your masters. Your master's title is crap compared to actual pro players. I'm sorry to inform you.
Okay. Let's take this. Let's boil this down real quick. Forums. What are they used for?
The Battlenet forums?
Just forums in general. What is the point of an online forum?
Well, it's nice to have some camaraderie. Give your opinion.
I was going to go the really, insult these people route and say they're for commenting. So if you tell someone if you're not X, Y, or Z so you can't comment on a forum, it's kind of dumb.
Oh, that's a good point.
The whole point is for community, for everyone, for the average Joe to give their opinion.
Yeah, well, and with the Battlenet forums, it's in the hopes that Blizzard sees it and does something about it.
Yeah, exactly. But of course, and we know they don't just take the forums as scripture. They talk to pros, they look at statistics, and then they go, well, David Kim, what do you think?
Oh, and probably the hardest thing about it is they've thought of everything already. Nope, we thought of that. And every single time there is something where you're like, what about that? They probably already did it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just had this awesome image in my head of David Kim coming down off a mountain with stone tablets written in Zelnaga letters. Just well, this is the new Warp Prism thing. There it is. Bam! And here's the Nidus buff. Not that Niduses are getting a buff, but that'd be nice.
I'd like that.
Yes, we know you would, Kyle. We know
I'm sorry.
You would. It's so I'm not complaining, man. I got my siege tank buff, so
that's true.
I'm not gonna. Which, by the way, I've been mixing a lot of siege tanks when I've been playing my team games, and it's great because people are just they're so used to seeing Widow Mines that when you get a tank out, people just go, I don't know.
It's a foreign idea, man. All these roaches and TVZ, it's ridiculous. I don't even know what world I'm living in.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Oh, shout out to Think Tank in the chat room. I know him in real life. He's a crazy guy. Hi, man.
And we were talking about tanks. Good timing.
Exactly. There he is. That's exactly, I believe, why he named himself that in StarCraft. But, anyways, dude, have you seen this new WCS official website?
Of course I have, and it is, well, sporty.
Yeah, it ain't bad.
No.
It's not bad at all. Like, it's actually well put together with up-to-date information. And
my favorite thing about it is the schedule. That is, they've made so simple. The rest of it can be very overwhelming. Global standings on the side, that makes sense. But then you have, like, results and the brackets there in the middle and 5 links on the side. And, oh, thank goodness, a nice box schedule is just sitting there.
Yeah. Yeah, that is good. And they've got they've got all the stuff that I go to Wikipedia for right on the site, and it's good to see that WCS today they've just been making those rapid fire style. Because I believe TJ Wheat said it best last week. It was WCS that day.
Yeah, it seemed like a big promise. So far, they're keeping up with it quite well. And in fact, on the 3rd, they put out the top 5 plays from the WCS week, which was really well produced. It was a little cheesy, in my opinion, a little corny, a little too trying to be NFL or whatever. But when they got to the 3rd best play of the week, and they did this graphic where they're like, check out these Vikings, like wah wah in your face, and check out like these Ravens. That was great. And that's when I totally bought into it. But when it's doing the like, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? And you're like, oh.
It's kind of cheesy.
Yeah, it hurts a little bit. I don't know why. I'm not sure what the issue is. Yeah. Why? Maybe because that kind of voice has been talking down to me my whole life. And like, why don't you love sports? Sunday, let's, there's a robot. There's a robot. He plays football. Why don't you like it?
Yeah, and chat room's asking what's the website. It's just wcs.battle.net. We'll take you to the WCS portal. So, but yeah, it's for the most part, it's what I want. It's a nice, well-edited recap of everything. Which, if you are human, that means you don't have enough time to watch every game.
Yes, well, particularly with 3 regions going on, sometimes at the same exact time.
Yeah, exactly. So that's good stuff. My one critique is there doesn't seem to be a collection of VODs. And I
mentioned that, and
I have to ask why.
I just assumed, like, I didn't even look for VODs. I'm like, it's the WCS website. Let's do this. But you're absolutely right, and that's because they're all being hosted over at Twitch. And Twitch has been a major partner in this WCS event. Cool. I can see
post
why.
Links.
Yeah, that's the other odd. Why not
embed
just
the
post
Twitch
links
player
and take me to Twitch?
Yeah, that's the only thing where I was just like scratching my head, like they did a good job, because I've been kind of harping on Blizzard here because it seemed like they weren't doing a very good job letting us know what was going on with WCS. Everyone was having to go to Team Liquid, which granted I already do for every tournament, so not a big deal for me, but for new people it made sense for them to have it on a Blizzard website. Now we finally get that, but yeah, I'm just like, man, put the VODs up. The whole point for all of this is the games.
Ninod in the chat room says they added some videos on the side there, which they did, and there is a button up in the right corner that looks like a little play button next to
it takes
Facebook.
You straight to the YouTube. Okay.
And it takes you there. So
Very
it's
cool.
Getting there. I think.
All right. I'm down.
Again, this is just a design flaw of someone who probably spent all day staring at, and they're like, what? It's right there. Like, what's everyone's problem? They're probably getting emails all week about, where's the VODs?
Yeah. So, cool. Glad it's up and running. So yeah, if you are new to the esports scene, definitely check out wcs.battle.net. Otherwise, I'm not gonna lie. I'm just gonna keep reading Liquipedia like the sports page.
Sure, and better late than never. But at the same time, this whole WCS finals right now, the global one that's happening season 1, there's not a lot of hype around it, and that seems on purpose almost. Like they're like, well, it's happening. We kind of want people to miss it and go back. And then they'll be like, oh, WCS happened all year. Oh, well, I'll check the next one. And then the next one's going to be huge. And by the time we're at number 3, it's going to be mega.
Well, yeah. Well, the grand finals at the end of BlizzCon are obviously going to be a big deal. But I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. But Yeah, they could definitely be hyping it more. I'm not sure that that's their intent.
Well, like, the finals are this weekend. In fact, they're starting today. Mm-hmm. And if I hadn't purposely looked it up, I wouldn't have known that. I mean, that seems like something that should have been said at the end of every single final this past weekend.
That's a good point. But, I mean, it's advertised on the website. It's advertised in the client. I'm fine with that.
Yep.
It's good. We're good. And chances are, if you're watching every single, game, you already know all this.
Yeah, you're probably using another website that's informing you how to get there.
Exactly.
But we also have that really weird switchover coming with GSL going to OSL.
Yes. That whole thing confuses me, which means the up and downs are they serving a double purpose? Like, do you get a spot in the Premier League of OSL as well as get your Code S spot back in GSL? That's the one thing where I'm looking at it like, I was so proud of myself. It's like, yes, I have my head wrapped around this WCS thing. And then came the end of the GSL season. I'm just like, wow, my brain hurts. I'm not actually sure how this works.
Yes. So Blizzard has standardized it a bit, and we do have the Challenger League and the Qualifier League, Code S, the global system that's going on. So that's going to continue with OSL.
Okay, so GSL is only doing the Challenger League for Season 2, and OSL is doing the Premier League. Gotcha.
I believe that is correct.
That's what the chat room's telling us.
Yeah, because
that makes more sense.
We basically have two mega companies that are doing the events in Korea, and for some, that's kind of confusing that they chose to go with MLG strictly instead of doing the same thing with NASL and MLG. But at any rate, in Korea, they decided to give both their turn back and forth.
Right.
It's a much longer standing organization, though. I mean, Blizzard made the GSL with the release of StarCraft 2, and OSL is the Golden Mouse Award and has been around forever.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not sure. The whole thing, why the NASL is not involved has been a big kind of black mark this whole time. And I still don't know why they did that.
Nope, and we'll see how much changes with that switchover.
Yeah, but anyways, in other news, spawning, man, you want to go spawn?
Dude, this brings back an immediate guitar riff of bang, doo doo, and just every time you opened up that Brood War CD right there, the spawn staring you in the face, brings back some memories, and they really hyped it as such.
Yeah, indeed. So Blizzard made a big deal this past week about spawning coming to StarCraft 2. If you are not familiar with spawning, it was something that existed in the original StarCraft and I believe Warcraft 2?
Yes.
Where you could at a LAN party, you could just pass around your disc and quote-unquote spawn a full version of the game for your buddies to play as long as you're on that local area network.
Yep, and then they would be able to play the multiplayer with you, all the races and that. They couldn't play the single-player campaign, so it was basically a way at a LAN party for one dude with a disc to hook everyone up for the evening, and then leave them with, an account that they could maybe play a custom game with, but other than that, you couldn't enjoy the big story.
Right, you couldn't play the campaign. I don't think you could go online if that was at the point when Battlenet was up and running. Anyways, yeah, it's now in StarCraft 2, and it's discless. You don't need to go give your disc to your buddy. The way it works is it just works through the party system. So say your buddy has the starter version downloaded on his computer or whatever. You guys party up, and so say I have Heart of the Swarm, Kyle, and you have Starter Edition. We party up. All of a sudden, you have access to Heart of the Swarm units, and we can play on ladder together.
Yes, and you can also play in the arcade together, which is pretty neat.
Right.
I see that happening a lot out there.
Yeah. Now, I got stoked about this because the way I originally read it in their write-up, they're like, you have access to everything from Heart of the Swarm except the campaign. So I'm like, oh, really? You can play freaking Protoss and Zerg? That's wonderful. No, you cannot play Protoss and Zerg. You can play Protoss and Zerg for this first inaugural week, but after that, you will still be limited to Terran, which really took down how excited I was about this.
Yeah, particularly because you don't have any access to the 1v1s. Granted, you do need to be in a party with someone, so you're doing group matches. But that's really the bread and butter of StarCraft. And if you are enjoying with your friend StarCraft, then you want to buy it for 1v1s. Of course, you'll hold back on that. But denying them the races just seems kind of odd. And particularly in StarCraft 2, where they're so stylized. I mean, it's one thing to be like, Command and Conquer, you can only be the red race. It's like, oh no, I'm missing out on like 2 custom units and some paint jobs.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, how do you what would really be the negative of just like, who cares? Let them play the damn thing.
I think Terran, kind of the basic of RTS. It's going to seduce people into wanting to play the game. And the other races are really sexy. I mean, some people, they love guns. They want humans to win all the time. Mm-hmm. And they pick Terran. They love them. But people like me, I'd be stuck in Terran. I'd go, whoa, wait a minute. Look at that guy. Look at those things warping in. I want to be that, and I'd buy the game. But again, I already own the game. So it's kind of a weird conversation to be having. Blizzard, I trust 100%. I get so much value out of my $60 that the idea of starter editions and free to play and all this stuff, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I agree. When we were talking about this off stream a couple days ago, I was just like, dude, you're about spawning. It's so cool. And you're like, dude, you can't play as the other 2 races. I'm like, what? No, it says this. Dude, watch this video. Oh, this is a giant. Who gives a crap now? Like, yep. But at the same time, I completely agree with you. Like, for me, I'm just like, oh, Blizzard has a new game? Let me buy it on day 1 for full price, because it's going to be amazing.
Now, according to Flamey in the chat room, he's saying that Blizzard plans to rotate the races in and out. So if you stick with the starter edition for long enough, you will get to experience other races.
Cloakin hinted at that, but he didn't give us any solid evidence, like when the switchover would happen, because it would make the most sense for, oh, well, Heart of the Swarm is out now, so the starter edition is going to be Zerg instead of Terran. I don't know. So, yeah, they'll probably do it, but I'm kind of curious as to when and how frequent it will be.
Well, we know the ladder maps are now going to be matching, or the ladder and season lock is going to be changing with the WCS. What would be real cool is if whoever's the winner, their race becomes the starter edition race.
Okay. That'd be interesting.
Because then you're showing it to your friends. You're like, hey, you want to play? And he's like, yeah, I want to play as the guy who just won. And you're like, perfect.
That's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad. But I don't know. I was really excited thinking they could play as all 3 races, because it was like a pseudo free to play StarCraft. You just need to be social.
Yep. And there's also another thing going on with it. Is this only for the special event? But they are allowing you to get bonus XP when you are grouped with friends on either Real ID friends or just in the game.
You get 25% extra experience from partying with a Real ID or a battle tag friend, but I believe that's a new permanent change?
Okay, so that is permanent.
Or is it just this week?
I don't think it's part of the celebration.
Yeah, I thought that was a permanent thing.
I hope so. They did that with Diablo.
If I misread. Players continue to level up in the Harmonies. We decided to crank up the XP, log into StarCraft, and earn... Oh, no, that's only up through June 11th.
Oh, okay, so it is part of this celebration.
Yeah, so today is the 6th, so you have until Tuesday.
Well, running over the finals weekend, so still pretty exciting.
Yeah.
And it's nice to have an event in game.
Yeah, exactly, because this is something, if you're a WoW player, you're very used to. Like, oh, there's a big event this week, let's get in and grind.
Exactly, and that's why I got excited, so... I'm looking forward to more things like this in the future. Certainly, the WCS with the ladder locks are going to keep things real fresh feeling, because all those strategies are going to come right back in as we're all getting right back in to do our placements. And hey, shout out to Carbot getting a new portrait in the game. That's awesome.
Oh, dude, I'm so happy for him. It's badass, and I want that portrait.
I wish I could have the Ultralist in the pool.
Oh, that'd be... But it's the Ling, man. The Ling's adorable.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about the Ling, most certainly. And the Infestor.
Yeah.
All of them are cute.
Oh, except crap. How are we going to do this, man? I don't know anyone who plays on a starter edition.
We can get the starter edition. It wouldn't stop me, right? Yeah, because
if you log in with your Battlenet thing, it's going to know that you have the full edition.
Right. So you and I will have to make a starter edition accounts, and then we'll trade back and forth.
Wonderful. We have a plan for after the show. We're gonna go get ourselves some Carbot portraits. See, I want the Carbot portrait to look like the actual StarCraft portraits. Like I want just the close up on the Marine where it just looks like a U.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be great. Or someone to do some really like tightly rendered out version of a Marine, but has the anatomy of Carbot's Marine.
I love when people do that, like the real life Mario gifs or the things they did in SpongeBob. Love it.
Oh yeah. That was cool. I've had friends who have worked for Nickelodeon Animation, and it's awesome to walk around the studio because they have those paintings. They're those close-up paintings of like Squidward with too much acne, or that originally that was done in Ren and Stimpy. They do those close-up, and they weren't animations. They were just like acrylic paintings, and they were just boop. That's a close-up, and they just have them hanging around. It's just the most horrifying-looking pieces of art. I love it. Good stuff. Get on that, Blizzard. Do it now. Or maybe I should do it. There's one way I can finally get some Reddit karma. So, very cool. So if you got a buddy out there playing the starter edition and they've been kind of curious about experiencing the full game or some of the new units at Heart of the Swarm, go check out this spawning feature. Should be
craft curious.
Yes. If you're craft curious, now's a good time to try out the game. So, anyways, so season 4, we're still in the lockout right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yep.
So season 4 is approaching, and the changes to the map pool have been announced. So they are removing Clontis Mire and Zurus Prime, and they're adding in 3 new maps. We've got Red City, Core Sky Island, and Newkirk Precinct. Which originally I just saw Newkirk, and I'm like, wait, that's not new. What are you talking about? But it's like, oh, it's Precinct. Okay.
I'm not surprised to see Zerus Prime go. I enjoyed the map, but it got downvoted by a lot of people. This was one that had a real easy 3rd that kind of bled into a 4th. And then the Mire, I expected to be around a little longer. I don't know. I kind of like it because it kind of looks like a squat little alien with like a little up face.
Really?
Yeah, look, he looks like a fat little guy.
That's your reason for liking Clontis Mire?
Actually, I don't like it. As a horrible 3rd. And this is that one, you'll remember it immediately. It's that one with that weird little bridge, which is real cool and creative, and I wish they do more stuff like it, but it's not good.
It doesn't really make for exciting tournament play.
No, and it's just like the bridge never really is fought over. It's more just owned over. Either one person is on the bridge and they own it, or no one's there at all.
Yep.
So unlike what was I talking about a couple weeks ago? Scrap Station, where that bridge is actually fought over.
That old ass U-shaped map from the original season of Wings of Liberty.
Well, and this is just something I'd like, but I'd like to see some Xel'Naga bridges. Like, you got to hold the point, but then the bridge, like, raises up out of the ground and extends. You wouldn't be able to, like, drop it out on anyone. It'd be like a supply depot. As long as someone's on it, it's not going to go up and throw them off.
That'd be interesting. I'm not sure how they work it, because you could then game it by always just having, especially if it's a long bridge, always having one person just, like, 1 pixel on it or something.
Yeah, that's true.
But, yeah, I don't know.
I just feel like we got those destructible towers, and it seemed like the avenue to something more exciting in the ladder maps. And then we haven't seen anything. In fact, we've seen a complete digression of that with, like, Xel'Naga towers going away in tournament maps. And hell, if I've ever seen a tower collapse on a pile of units, even though it does do damage.
Yeah, well, I see it happen, but a lot of times, like, it's negligible. You don't really notice it. Especially if there's medevacs involved. It just heals everyone up when you're good to go. But, yeah. I don't know what to tell you there, man. But have you looked at these new maps? You looked at, like, Red City, for example, we've got up here. It's looking like an expansion-friendly map.
Ooh, it's got this weird little pit right in the middle of, like, your 4th and 3rd.
Yeah. That's interesting. And then the middle of the map is also just a pit. It just looks like a kill zone, like a kill box.
I really want more of these city maps, though. Like, I would love to be right there in the streets of Core Hall, buildings, right? I know the perspective's way off. Like, you'll have a Marine, and he's 2 stories high compared to these little buildings. But I love it. I want, like, street signs. I want to destroy some lamp posts with my Ultralisks. Yeah,
exactly. I enjoy the city tile set a lot. Of course, I played Terran, so a little biased there. But yeah, so this is the new Core Hall map.
And wow, Core Hall Sky Island. This is a 4 spawn map?
It is. And the 4 bases are not identical.
No, you got 2 and 2 here.
Incredibly different. This is weird.
This looks like a 3-player map with the way it has that weird expansion up in the middle.
Yeah.
Huh.
This is different. Yeah.
Funky stuff. Okay, cool.
Especially if you look at this again, and you look at top left and bottom right. If you spawn there, your main is still on a raised platform, but it's not the highest platform.
Yeah.
If you take that expansion directly across from you, that's higher than your main.
That can't be right. Is this really 4 different? Because you've got destructible towers on each side there. Yeah, I guess it is.
Destructible rocks, you mean?
Well, it's the towers.
Debris. Debris. It's the same basic concept.
Okay, destructible something or other.
We just call them rocks.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is very strange. But yeah, no, chat room saying there's not maps out of the side ones, but there are ramps. Yeah, there's a ramp here, and there's a ramp right here. That's strange.
Funky stuff.
Yeah. And have they officially done away with close spawns? Because that map would be funky if you got close spawns.
Yes.
That would mean you both had different mains.
It's sporting the symbols like you can spawn anywhere. I don't know. And then our final one here, Newkirk Precinct TE.
Mm-hmm. This is another tile map I like. This reminds because it has the same tile set as like Metalopolis, which back in the day, man. You know me, I was all about the Metalopolis.
Oh yeah, well this is the great city tile set. Man, this looks... Is this a redone map? This looks exactly like something we have right now.
It doesn't look like anything I can think of other than... What was that really popular 4-spawn map in Wings of Liberty that had like the weird array of bases in between them, and it was very common for players to spawn on the same side?
Oh, well that's why. Because it's a redone Newkirk Precinct.
Oh,
Thank
well,
you,
there you go. Okay, I'm about to say.
But I know the one you're talking about. Man, that one was weird, where you had the 4, but then there was like that weird bridge between the 2 in the back, and then the ramps that went up.
Yeah.
We've been through some funky stuff. Things are getting a little more standard.
Yeah, and that was a really popular map, actually, because it was big, so it really allowed for macro play back in the day. Because you remember when Wings of Liberty came out, man? It was like nothing but rush maps.
Yeah, originally.
Or at least seemed like it.
And I remember...
was close.
I remember sitting through my first 30-minute esports event and being like, wow, that went to late game. Oh my God. This will never be the norm. And I think even the casters were like that. Like, this does not happen. And
in StarCraft 2.
Yeah, look at us now, where it's all about the late game.
Yeah. And you could tell, too, the older casters, anyone that casted Brood War was just like, oh, man, back in Brood War, games would go on. You could tell they were just pining for some long macro games. Good stuff. But yeah, go check out the new maps.
Yeah, we got some new 2v2 maps too, and I like when they do the shared bases. So good to see.
I didn't even notice that. So sweet. Yeah, I'm all for shared bases. There's nothing worse than playing with a Zerg, Kyle, and getting the not shared bases that are really far from one another. Because what does the other team do? Scout the Zerg, found him, rush him.
Yep, and then if they don't rush you, I'm sitting on like 4 spine crawlers and nothing's coming, and then you get rushed, and I'm like, I got nothing. I'm sorry, I was defending myself.
There's no creep in your base. I can't bring him over, buddy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, my 4 queens. Don't know why I got these.
Oh, yeah, that's a sad day. But, yeah, it's good stuff. Also, we got an unofficial look at the new Battlenet Desktop client.
I know, it's like we're World of Warcraft data mining. Oh my goodness.
Well, we are, and it's directly from MMO Champion. It's not from any StarCraft sites, so it's exactly where it's coming from is WoW players. But
RTS Champion.
I specifically included this, Kyle, because I know that you have been clamoring for you want your Battlenet, you want your Steam for Battlenet.
So badly.
It looks like this is a step in that direction.
I mean, I have very few reasons to be stealthy, but sometimes, man, you just don't want to deal with anyone. And the fact that, like, I'm like, okay, cool, that was a fun game. Now I'm gonna go play Diablo, and I know, like, people are seeing me like, come on, disappear, come on, through like different games. I'm like, man, this is embarrassing.
Yeah, it's funny, but it looks interesting. Apparently, it's been being tested internally for quite a while now, and also, I guess they said that only the Windows version is currently up for testing, but it looks, by looks at the job page, that there's an OS X version in development. But they said also just take this all with a grain of salt because this is a pre-release version. It's all very tested. But some of the more interesting thing is that this is going to replace the launcher for all of the Blizzard games, so StarCraft, Diablo, World of Warcraft, and everything from here on out. I would say Titan, but apparently we're not going to get Titan until I have children of my own.
Oh, dude, that breaks my heart so bad, man. Like, and you know that Elder Scrolls is going to kill now because people were going to hold out. And now all of us MMO junkies were like, I'm really pining for something new. Elder Scroll, I can't stop looking at you.
Do it, man. Do it. Come on, Elder Scroll. Don't suck. Don't suck.
We're all hoping, but I'm
yeah.
Right now, it's everyone, kind of Twitter-pated with the game. The people who are getting to test, and they're like, wow, it was like being in Skyrim. Yeah, there was a couple of, like collect the thing quests. I'm like, don't say that. Don't say that to me. I want to be revolutionary.
Well, have you played Skyrim? There's quite a few collect the thing quests.
Oh, yeah, and that's fine. As long as they capture the feeling of exploration, I'll be happy. But if they do like a streamlined process where I got to go point A to point B throughout the entire thing, and there's like areas for certain levels. I mean, that's what makes Skyrim, Bethesda games so much fun, is that
the world kind of levels around you.
Yeah, and I can replay the game, and hey, Dad in Fallout 3 says, I guess he doesn't say to you originally, but yeah, someone will be like, hey, meet me in the city, and you're like, nope, and you just go the opposite direction.
Doesn't the dad die? Like really early on?
Not super early on.
Okay.
Yeah, well, probably about halfway.
Before you get out of the pod, isn't it?
The pod?
When you're in the beginning, you're in that underground bunker. Doesn't he die when all hell breaks loose?
Oh, no, he escapes.
Oh, okay. See, I hated that game, so I didn't get very far into it.
Yeah, no. Well, you have represented yourself as a Bethesda hater in the past, though you did enjoy Skyrim a bit.
I loved Skyrim a bit. It was great because it functioned properly. When I put my crosshairs over something and pulled my arrow back, it actually went where my crosshairs were. Go figure.
If they can capture that, man, it's going to be great. But I don't know. I'm sad about Titan because I wanted my mind to be blown, and I really wanted to see what they were packing.
Mm-hmm.
But at any rate, this launcher it looks a little elementary right now. I'm sure it'll get spruced up, but certainly if this thing is sporting the WCS info I need, that would be wonderful.
Ooh, that'd be cool, yeah. Well, it's saying that they're working on having store forums and all kinds of other stuff accessible directly through the launcher. So you might get your wish.
Yeah, that's true. Man, I hope now that it's an in-between, it'll know when I've bought a game and stop trying to sell me games.
Yeah, that's funny. I never even thought about that.
It's a little frustrating to me when a new WoW expansion comes out and my StarCraft launcher is completely wowed out. And I'm like, damn it, I bought you. Or Diablo was the longest one for me.
Yeah, exactly. And right now it's just like, you can move your character in WoW for 50% off, yeah! It's just like, okay, I just
why would I care in this launcher?
I just want to pwn some noobs. Can we get into StarCraft, please? But I don't know, Steam's the same way. I own so many games on Steam, and if you go on Steam, it's still advertising what's on sale, regardless if you own it or not.
Right, but you're already logged into all those games, and that's what I really enjoy about it. And you can set yourself as offline before you announce to the world that you're playing a certain game.
Yep. You're not always logged into those. If you played some of the Ubisoft games that need that, whatever that terrible frickin' thing that Ubisoft has, Uplay, that's what it's called.
No, is that...
You launch a Ubisoft game in Steam, which is protected by Steam DRM, and then it has to launch Uplay, where you need to log in with your Ubisoft account so you can get into your Ubisoft game, which is just sad because I enjoy a lot of Ubisoft games, but Uplay is dumb.
Which one's that? I guess I haven't bought a Ubisoft game in a while.
Any Assassin's Creed game.
Okay.
Is their like popular cash cow right now? Watch Dogs, that really cool game that's going to be coming out at the end of the year, is being done by them. Prince of Persia series was done by Ubisoft.
Okay. Well, hey, at least it's not Origin. That thing's oppressive.
Oh God, yeah. Yep. I don't know. Uplay's right up there as far as I'm concerned with Origin. So, hey.
And it looks like there's going to be an avatar selector. Interesting.
Oh, whatever. It's just like a picture.
Yeah.
It's no different than our icons in StarCraft. It's really nothing that's special. But hey, cool. I'm all for it. If I get to replace my StarCraft, Warcraft, Diablo icons with just a Battlenet icon, I'll be a happy man. Someone out there in the internet right now is someone yelling, "You can just add other games to Steam." But I don't like doing that for non-Steam games. I'm weird about that. I don't know why.
I'm the same way, and whenever I see someone has like entered StarCraft in Steam, I'm like, wait, what? And I like search the store, and I'm like, oh.
Oh wait, that's okay.
No, you're just doing that crossover thing.
Yep. Yeah, it's weird.
Have you ever seen anyone like with a clearly pirated game through their Steam?
Yeah. So-and-so's playing Tomb Raider. Dude, that doesn't come out for a week.
Or the one I saw was like Skyrim version, and just like this pile of crap. I'm like, dude, stop announcing that you're playing that.
Yeah. That's funny. So let's talk some results. We had WCS Korea Season 1 Finals. We had WCS America Season 1 Finals. And we've got just the WCS Everything Season 1 Finals coming up. So I'm sure first we want to talk about the GSL Korea Season 1 Too Many Names Finals.
Yes.
Too many names and too much skill.
I actually watched this a second time. Kind of like
Really?
You go back and watch Memento over again after you've seen it once, and you go, oh, that's what was happening there. I just had to like look at their faces.
I've never seen Memento.
Well, there's got to be Cabin in the Woods.
Oh, okay. One of my favorite movies.
Like that beginning scene, you're like, your first time, you're like, what the hell is this about? But then if you watch again, like you're enjoying every joke that happens, really into the world.
Matter of fact, the latest Arrested Development is very much like that. The first few episodes, you're just like, I don't get it. I'm not laughing. What's the point of this?
Yeah.
And then you keep watching, and it comes back around, and you see it from a different perspective, and you're just like, that is hysterical. So I'm really looking forward to watching it a second time.
That's really cool. I mean, that's something that would only be available in a instant watch, all in one go kind of viewing experience with Netflix.
Yeah. But it's good stuff, man. I love me some Arrested Development.
But anyway, it was awesome to go back and like watch Tasteless and Artosis have at their predictions and knowing what really happened.
I was so wrong. For the last like 2 months, I feel like I've just been like, innovation is just going to win everything from here until forever.
Dude, so were they. I mean, they were in game 3 of this thing and saying, so innovation wins this GSL and probably the next one, right? They're already talking about the next GSL already and how innovation's going to take it.
Yeah, I don't know. I definitely see innovation and Sulky being the top dogs for a while now. But it's so hard to say this kind of shit because if you've kept up with GSL at all, oh, how the mighty fall.
Yeah.
How the mighty fall. No one
thing,
stays
man.
up that high. No one stays on top.
And it could be as simple as what we saw this week. I mean, innovation's time against good players might be over. Because Sulky figured him out.
He did, but I also feel like innovation didn't scout well enough. Because he was playing to his hand too much. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't want to take anything away from Sulky, but I was watching it going, man, innovation is losing this one and Sulky's winning this.
Yeah, no, it definitely, it was like...
I told you, we talked about this on This Week in Blizz. I was screaming at my screen, build a tank! Build one damn tank! Anything!
You know, I've heard, and a lot of people were saying that exact thing this week, and I've heard the argument that, well, he couldn't build a tank because he never went mech. And the only reason you would ever get tanks instead of Widow Mines is if you were going mech.
What got him through a lot of the TVZs we watched, dude? It was
Bio
with a nice little garnish of tanks.
There's also this really weird explosion of people thinking that GSL was completely fixed.
Yep. Yeah, I've heard that.
I mean, I know it's a really rare occurrence that we have a reverse all kill, but
this is actually the first time it's ever happened in the GSL finals.
Yeah, but damn, like, I mean, these guys are traumatized. Like, it was a mental battle. It was like watching Xavier up against Magneto, and both of them just standing there like grimacing a whole lot.
Okay.
I couldn't think of an X-Men that had psychic powers on the evil side. I'm sure there's one.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're
my
both
X-Men that
pushing
well.
the same piece of metal in between them.
But he's not. Xavier isn't telekinetic.
Has he never lifted anything with his mind? He's only psychic?
I believe he's only psychic.
Well, that's a shame. I guess it would have to be Jean Grey versus Magneto, though. Well, at that, I mean, to even have a chance, she'd have to be Phoenix. But I digress.
Yes, I'm not that big of an X-Men fan. I enjoy the movies. I'll go see them. Love me so. I'm totally going to go see Wolverine, despite the fact that Origins was kind of bad.
Yeah, yes. I don't know what
he
his
is
name
telekinetic.
is.
Okay,
Say there. Yeah, says
my
that
knowledge of X-Men is just the movies. My apologies.
How lame would that be to be psychic but not telekinetic?
Well, can he like control people or
Well,
something
yeah.
with his mind? That's not lame at all. That's pretty freaking badass.
Sure, but if you have mind powers, I mean, that's like being able to run but not walk.
Well, he can't walk.
He can't run either. But good point.
He's Professor X, man. And to tie this into StarCraft, if I was clever, I'd do something about Kerrigan having telekinetic powers, and I'm not that clever, so it doesn't matter. We got off topic. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Frequently with us. So these games, I don't know how long I want to spend entertaining the idea that this was potentially rigged.
No, that's outrageous.
There's really no way to prove it unless it comes out where it was found out by refs or something. Like,
dude,
it's kind of stupid to talk about it without facts.
There is no way. First of all, if they did fake it, then clearly Sulky's mom wasn't in on it. But man, when he got up at the end there and was accepting his winnings and talking to the crowd and saying that he loved his parents, I mean, you could see those sides of his mouth just quivering. He was ready to bawl, and I was ready to bawl with him. He was emotionally charged. They both were. And Innovation just was deer in the headlights. I mean, he had no idea where he was, what happened to him.
And that's how I felt like he was playing towards the end there. Those last two games, I'm just like...
Well, he was smashing face. Absolutely. And I mean, we talked about this, I think, 2 weeks ago even, where we were saying the hardest part is keeping winning and not getting ahead of yourself. And in fact, when you have 3 games you can throw out the window doing whatever to try to win, you probably start playing like crap.
Yeah, and that's what I think happened. I think the first 2 games he was just kind of playing around, and then I think he got wrapped up in his own mind. I'm not going to... Obviously, I don't know what he was thinking. Maybe he was just like, F this. Maybe he had an inner Idra moment and just gave up. I don't know. But it's seems more likely to me that the first 2 games he did what you said and was just trying, oh, well, I have buffer. I'm going to try some crazy stuff. And then I think he lost both and then got kind of wrapped up in his own head. That's what I'm thinking. It was a mind thing.
Yeah, but man, you can never discount Sulky ever again after this.
No.
Because the sheer force of will it must have taken to ignore losing 3 games against Innovation. I mean, if we're talking about
and
Innovation...
lose them like he lost them.
Yeah.
He lost hard.
And we're talking about Innovation like that over here. Can you imagine in like a small community when you're training StarCraft constantly, just the gossip in that house has to drive you half insane. In fact, Flash helped Sulky out, and thank goodness he did, because even if Flash wasn't the greatest player, which, I mean...
Clearly, he's one of the top.
Sure, I mean, certainly mechanically. That must have just given him so much confidence going into this, because otherwise he would have just gotten smashed.
Yeah, for those of you who are and Flash was Sulky's training partner in preparation for these finals. And And that, like I said on This Week in Blizzard, that's what I want to know. That's what I want the inside story on, is how did Flash approach training Sulky for this? Because obviously it paid off.
Yeah. And once he got over his nerves, he was good to go. And I really enjoyed these plays. There was a lot of roaches, which I'm sure is why you were screaming, make a tank.
It looked like Wings of Liberty at times, except a couple Widow Mines and no damn tanks. But from the Zerg perspective, like, did we even see a new unit? I don't think we did. We didn't see a Viper. We didn't see Swarm Hosts.
No?
Am I missing it? What am I missing?
No, we didn't even see like a new Ultralisk. I mean, everything he won with at the end there was Roach,
Hydra.
Baneling, and Hydras at one point, I think.
Yeah.
But that's also what killed him in Game 3, was having those Hydras off creep. So he didn't even have that upgrade for that game.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, did he not get the memo? Like, oh, by the way, in Wings of Liberty, this is how a lot of Zergs lost.
It's using Hydras against Terran without speed.
Yeah, exactly. But it was nuts. And like I said, I'm not trying to take anything away from Sulky. Dear God, the man.
Ooh, Rubik's Rambo says he used Mudas.
Okay,
Final game.
The Muda changes were, yes, he does. The Muda buff in Heart of the Swarm was very much very important, because he had a blinding. He didn't need Vipers, man, because he had a blinding cloud of Mutas.
Dude, they would block out the sun. It was when that group flew in. First of all, when he was boosting his medevacs into Sulky's base, and Sulky just goes, "Nope, I have Mutas," destroys 3 medevacs right there. Game's pretty much over. But that flock in Game 7 was giant. Horrifying.
They didn't die, man. Every time they take damage, he just, I'm just gonna fly out. I'll be back in 7 seconds. Have fun. Enjoy. When Mutas start destroying factories and barracks and not just their attachments, it's just it's over as a Terran. And it was weird. It was like watching my ladder games. Like, I've been here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been in this position, and it sucks. Obviously, the way I got there was a lot less skilled.
Yeah. Well, innovation was jangled, most certainly.
Mm-hmm.
He had that second there that Sulky ended up taking out with the 6 Banelings that never got repaired.
Yeah.
There was that turret in his base. Never got repaired when there were only like 8 Mutas the first time.
Yep. He could have really helped himself out there, but I don't even know, man. This is just...
It was a great finals.
Would you say best finals? Because I think it's the best finals for me. And the guy I was rooting for lost.
Yeah. No, it was definitely a really great finals, regardless of who you're rooting for. Unless you're a Protoss player. Sorry, guys.
Ooh.
No Protoss.
No Protoss. But, yeah, I don't know. TVZ will always be my favorite matchup.
Absolutely. I mean, it's your classic Space Marines. Starship Troopers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Watched that recently. God, that movie is hysterical. I don't remember it being that funny when I saw it originally.
I didn't remember so many naked people being in it, but I guess I didn't care.
Funny, because that was one of the first movies I ever saw with nudity, so I absolutely remembered all the naked people. I was just like, oh my God, I'm getting away with something I shouldn't be getting away with right now. Were your parents worried about nudity growing up?
Yes. I remember they were watching, what was it, The Green Mile?
There's nudity in The Green Mile?
Is it The Green Mile? Yeah, the woman throws open the windows and her boobs are out. And she's like talking to someone to distract them.
Oh, okay.
But at any rate, yeah, I remember I walked in on that part of the movie and it was, get out! Oh my God, get out! I was like, what? Oh, wait. Out the room.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, Titanic was the first one I ever watched where my parents didn't say anything, where I was allowed to just watch the whole movie without the mom hand over my eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that was a little artsy.
Exactly. They're like, oh, it's so artsy. You can watch it. It's like, okay. Why not?
Nudity's okay in a movie as long as it's separated by at least an hour on each side of movie. That thing takes forever to sink. You're like, all right, iceberg, movie over. No?
Now chat room has devolved into people just blurting out movies with nudity. Swordfish! Whole 9 yards!
That was it, the whole 9 yards. I think it was a Bruce Willis movie.
Okay. Yeah, Bruce Willis isn't even in The Green Mile, dude.
I don't... What, is that the one with Tom Hanks?
Yes.
I always confuse those for some reason.
How?
They must have been out in the theater at the same
They're
time.
not even remotely the same movie.
The Green Mile, whole 9 yards, they're both measurements.
All right. Whatever, man. Whatever. So, we had the WCS America Finals, which I still haven't gone back and watched. I saw the first 2 games. I haven't had a chance to finish it out. Just, for whatever reason, wasn't blown away with the first 2 games. Then I got busy and I haven't gone back and watched it. Sorry.
Yeah, I tuned in during Game 6 and I wasn't into it. I think the disappointment we all had at the American WCS having Koreans in the final was just a little too much. And I just watched the GSL, so I don't need to watch Koreans win.
That's a good point. Okay, am I allowed to be a little cynical right here?
Sure, go for it.
I totally looked at these finals and went, what's the point? They're not going to win against whoever comes in from the GSL anyway. I feel like all the players who are playing in the country brackets that they're not from are just Koreans who can't cut it in the GSL.
Or think they had a better chance. But yes, they did make a decision to not participate in what was the harder tournament.
Exactly. And obviously there's players in here that I really dig. And big congratulations to Hero who won it. I'm a big Hero fan. I'm obviously always root for Team Liquid. But
sure, but I mean, look at WCS Europe. That was great. And MVP took it, but he was going up against European players the whole time. So when he won, they were being very jokey about it. They were saying he's an honorary German. It was kind of funsy. But when it was just Koreans all the way to the end in the American finals, it lost its flavor.
Right, exactly. So it's slightly disappointing, but whatever the case is, it's going to lead to some phenomenal games. I'm anxious to see the finals, which are starting tonight, I believe.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they start tonight. This is the overall finals. All 3 regions, all the people from the top of America, Europe, and Korea are all converging, which is funny because they're all Korean, I believe, right?
Well, not all of them.
Okay, sorry, no, we got Stefano, Damaga, TLO.
For WCS America, yes, we are sending 5 Korean players.
Woo!
Back home.
America!
But in WCS Europe, yes, we have 2 Koreans, French, German, and what flag is that, Damaga? Ukraine. Well, now I know the Ukrainian
What flag is that? Ukrainian listeners around the world just went, stupid Americans.
Yeah, well, come on. I'm sorry, Ukraine.
Yeah, I'm anxious. I hope TLO continues his stint of doing way better than anyone gave him credit for.
Yeah.
That's who I'm actually about, because he's been the underdog, I feel. I've always been a TLO fan, but I haven't really, expected him to be the top dog for a long time now. So when he jumped into WCS Europe and started kicking ass, I was just like, hell yeah! So
Garrett, you're getting your player photo taken.
Mm-hmm.
Do you do the fist? Do you cross your arms? Do you have an action shot? Are you currently playing?
I don't think I could help myself from doing anything other than the goofy 2 thumbs up. I don't think I could do anything
big,
else.
Cheesy grin.
It's good. Yeah, I don't know. I can always leave it to you, Kyle, to come up with the really random awkward questions.
I really like what Sulky has, but in Damaga's photo here, they've lowered the camera down to waist. So we're looking up his nose. I mean, it's kind of got this divine sort of presence to it. But
okay. All right. can't believe we're having a discussion about Damaga. You can't see up his nose in his picture on Wikipedia. Or are you on the official WCS site?
I'm on the WCS site looking at the official groups.
Okay, well, here I am showing exactly what I usually go to.
Hey, I'm using what they gave me here. The group selection for this was kind of cheesy. It wasn't Korean. They casted over it, but it was the music in the background. They were playing like Wii loading screen music.
Really?
Yeah, like that. Like let's make
really
these
calming, like almost.
Yeah, exactly.
Might as well be sim music.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, that's funny.
Which is kind of sad. I was sad they didn't put more emphasis on that. I know the groups just kind of happen, and you have said so yourself that you skip a lot of the intros when you're watching a game. I mean, finals, you usually catch that information.
Very limited time to watch games, so if I'm watching via VOD, I'm getting straight to the game.
Yeah, so you would never check out a group selection.
No, because usually, A, I've got you to tell me about it, and B, I can just read about it.
Fair enough. I really like it. I find it interesting. I love when the commentators are saying like, "Ooh, isn't that interesting? So and so in this group is so," and like really breaking it down.
Yeah.
Even more interesting when you have the GSL where they're actually selecting their groups. Personally, this was just random, bingo out of a hat.
Right. So anyways, we have the groups. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yep, let's do it.
So Group A is Sulky, Alive, TLO, and Stefano.
Lucky alive, I guess.
Lucky Alive?
Well, all he has to do is train for versus Zerg.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, he's in there with Sulky.
Yeah.
No one in this group is lucky.
TLO,
Nobody.
Stefano, yeah, no. I guess he ain't so lucky, but maybe innovation in Group D here with Revival, Damaga, and Roro.
Yeah, he's lucky. I think
he's going to do great there.
I think he's going to roll.
We haven't seen Damaga versus Innovation, but definitely seen Roro, and that was a smackdown.
Yep. Ba-bam. Although Roro probably just watched the living crap out of Sulky's games.
Oh, probably. That poor guy, he's about to be hit in every vulnerable spot.
No, Sulky?
No, Innovation.
Oh, yeah, exactly. But hopefully he watched the crap out of his own games and was like, oh, okay, let's see, if I had made some tanks, this would have went better.
Nothing but tanks.
And this is totally where the forums would go, you're not masters, you can't comment. Which they're right, I honestly shouldn't be ripping on Innovation.
We shouldn't even be doing a show. I mean, what is this?
Yeah, it's kind of like, telling God how to do his job.
No one does that anytime.
No, never.
And then we got MVP, Ryung, Kongho, still not used to that.
Used to be Low Sierra, for those of you who are not aware.
And Alicia.
Yes, that's Group B. I'm going to go with Low Sierra and MVP as my picks for that group. I think Low Sierra is going to be number one of that group. He did so damn well in the GSL.
Yeah, he did. And MVP is looking back in form.
Yeah, he's doing really well. Granted, he didn't play in the GSL, but he, rocked it.
All right, so for Group D, we're going with Innovation.
Group D is definitely Innovation, yeah.
Yeah, I think Roro, if he trained up, could do it, but Innovation's an easy pick there.
I hope Damaga makes it out, though. He's not... Obviously, he's a
lovable man.
You've got 3 GSL players in there, but I'd like to see Damaga make it out. And then we've got Group C, Hero, 4GG, SOS, and Symbol. I think Hero and Symbol.
Yeah.
And I think possibly Symbol first out of the group.
Yeah, 4GG had a really good representation, but Symbol is quite beastly. I have no idea what could happen in that group. And it's always a shame when we have these randomly selected groups because you get stuck with we had 3 Protoss in this entire tournament, and two of them are in one group. Yeah. And then we got so many Zergs.
Yeah,
we have 8 Zergs, 5 Terran, 3 Protoss. Yep. Wow.
Heart of the swarm, man.
I guess so. Because when you're watching the games, I don't feel like Zerg is doing so hot.
They just won the GSL.
I know. Well, no, and that I think Sulky won the GSL. I don't think Zerg won that.
You're damn right, Sulky won the GSL. But I don't know. It's been so Zerg heavy. It's hard to say.
Well, you've heard the stat that this is the first time that Code S is going to have less Terrans than ever before since StarCraft 2. It's not the dominant race in there.
And what's cool about WCS actually is if you look at all the finals, we had one person of each race win the 3 finals.
Yeah, the finals looked great and balanced. But when you put them in a group like this, holy hell's erg.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So Sulky and Alive are playing right now. That would explain the massive drop-off of live viewers.
Yeah, we were doing great there.
We were doing good. Thanks, everyone who showed up. And everyone else who's sticking around instead of watching WCS. We love you. Or if you want to be really nice, keep our stream open, but mute us, and then open WCS.
Yeah, you can do that. That's fine.
Yeah, well, it still helps us out. We get the stats.
No one's going to blame you.
No. If I wasn't doing this show, I would be watching the WCS. But gotta get the podcast out, man. Gotta get the podcast out. It's good stuff. So cool. Very excited to see how that goes.
We also got an announcement this week from Blizzard saying that there is only going to be Masters League and Grandmasters allowed to participate in the WCS qualifiers.
Oh, I'm so glad that they implemented the incredibly obvious bullshit that should have been the rules in the first place.
Yeah, you would think. I mean, I don't know, blows my mind. Mm-hmm. They probably just didn't expect anyone to do it, but hey, for funsies, like, let's do it and take up the time, take it away from a player who could actually participate. It was a little sad, and kind of neglecting the whole point of having a ladder tied into the WCS in the first place. At least originally.
Okay.
So, nope, you gotta be Masters or Grandmasters.
Oh, what a shame.
What? You mean I gotta invest a lot of time into this game to win a tournament?
Sorry to everyone who would have just gotten smacked down anyway.
Yeah.
So, very cool. WCS rages on, man. And as we said earlier, OSL is going to take over for Season 2. GSL will be doing the Challenger League. Good stuff. Let's take some emails. Take some, we got a call, first off, from Discarax called in to the StarCast line, which I can never remember the number of. It's 941-882-0281. That is not a live line. Live listeners don't call that. It's a voicemail. You leave it, and we will play your call on the air. Anyway, let's hear what Discarax has to say.
Hey guys, it's Discarax here. I'm calling. I just listening to the last episode, and you guys were talking about the Pizza GG thing, which I know you're probably sick of hearing about, but there's something that Kyle said that I wanted to respond to, that he was saying, where are my video game ads in all these esports? And I think the reality is that esports in and of itself is a giant advertisement for the games that you're playing, which is why companies are investing so much in it, which is why Riot is investing so much in League of Legends, and why Blizzard is investing in their esports properties. Now, as far as what Papa John's thing is doing about it's about getting non-endemic sponsors. I know you guys have heard that because you've had all the biz guys on your show, but the first real non-endemic sponsor was what MLG did with their Dr. Pepper, and that's kind of been the only one. The reason this is a big deal is because this was an EG sponsored non-endemic promotion, because Papa John's isn't a video game or a computer part or an energy drink. It's something else. It's a mainstream advertiser that's now doing a little foray into esports. So, I mean, I think that I just want to make sure you guys appreciate, and I'm sure you do, the enormity of that particular change, that a non-endemic is running a promotion on esports for EG and for Riot and for the other guys. So that's what I think is the real big deal. I didn't buy any pizza because I don't like Papa John's. I like Papa Murphy's. You got Papa's. But anyway, work. Love the show, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Oh, thank you, Discarax, for that long, awesome kind of celebration of the Papa John's sponsoring of many StarCraft esports organizations, only to end it with, I didn't buy pizza. I don't like Papa John's.
Yeah, it's supporting them emotionally. Yeah, it's like these people on the street, Greenpeace and all. It's like, hey, do you want to support gay rights? Well, yes, I do. What's my money going to do for that? You're just throwing bills at the problem? Yeah, well, no, you could save the rainforest. What's your credit card number? It's like, well, no, like signature, right? Emotional support. Pizza GG.
Yeah, exactly. And no, Discorrect makes a really good point. I'm pretty sure I don't think I hit it over the head, but I'm pretty sure I said something to that effect, Kyle, when we were discussing this, that, well, Kyle, the reason it's not video game advertisements is because you're already buying video games. It's more, if you want to get, they have you locked in. If they want to get people who aren't gamers and like, oh, my pizza place sponsors this, I should check this out.
No, and I wasn't thinking of it that way.
I was just sick to death of seeing Pizza GG tweets.
Well, sure, that was a little outrageous, but with real sports, like the NFL may have like licensed products and like balls you can buy, but they're not like trying to sell you the game or like the rule book on how to play it. Right,
they're trying to sell you beer and cars and movies. Yeah.
So that makes a lot more sense to me now, and that is a big deal. Would I like a sponsor with some cleaner hands? Yes.
Oh, you're going to get back into that.
I'm not getting back into it. That's all I'm saying. I'm just leaving it at that. So, well, you know, beggars can't be choosers.
It's not like it's Chick-fil-A, man. just because the company supported one of the only two choices that are both pretty terrible choices.
Yeah.
I can get behind not liking Chick-fil-A, but just to get down on someone just because they have a different opinion. But.
Sure, and the guy who put this together probably loves esports and is not the owner of Papa John's.
Exactly. So, yeah, it's not bad. I've been doing with Domino's lately because they started doing that new deep dish thing. And at the top of the show, I was going to mention I started a diet and exercise regimen this week. So
congratulations.
No more pizza for me.
Oh, dude. That's rough. The human body loves to completely reject new things.
Mm-hmm. I'm not doing too bad. I've worked out every day this week, and I don't want to die.
Okay, that's good.
But I'm just doing cardio. I haven't started doing weights or anything, but I'm just trying to not be fat.
Well, yeah, you got to start somewhere.
Once I'm not fat anymore, I'll worry about trying to actually look like a man.
I'm a stickly stick, so I've been doing weights for 2 months now, and feeling real good, but I had to make that decision to cut the chocolate and cut pasta, which I love so damn much.
Yeah. Well, my girlfriend and I both grabbed an app that logs your calories. So we actually managed. We had pasta last night, and we're still under for the day because of the exercise and what we had for the rest of the meals for the day. So you can still have pasta if you count your calories right. It looks like.
Nice, yeah. But I'm one of those guys that could have pasta for dinner every night, and I mean just pasta with cheese on it.
Oh, see, I maybe once a week tops. For something about like just red sauce and noodles, I get bored of eating it. In the middle of eating it, in that one meal, I'm just like, I need something different. I need a vegetable or some bread or something to mix up the monotony.
Every day with breakfast.
Oh, really?
Get like halfway through my Wheaties, and I'm like, this is crap.
Yeah, I get burnt out on cereals real fast. But I've been mixing that up with, sometimes I do bagel, sometimes I do bars, sometimes I do cereal.
Man, when I was a little fat ass in high school, Junior opened up at 6 a.m. and I could get the biggest burger they had. I think it was a $6 burger at the time at 6 a.m. And I did.
I want to see a fat Kyle.
I'm sure if you gave me a moment, I could find a picture.
That's all right, because we've got more emails. Rob wrote in this week and said, I've been watching a lot more StarCraft recently and wanted to hear your thoughts regarding sportsmanship amongst the top echelon of the game. I caught some of WCS Europe last week and was blown away by some of the games, particularly between Stefano and 4GG. What also caught my attention was in the aftermath of the Widow Mines and Medevac chaos, Stefano gets up and walks past his opponent without so much as a handshake. Still later, he goes on to talk smack about 4GG in the post-game interview. Being new to esports in general, do you find that this type of interaction is typical? It seems so odd with the interactions you hear from mainstream sports that I thought it was interesting. Yeah, this is very typical.
Yeah, very.
Especially even with Korean players. It's all about the smack talk because it's not a physical game, so you have to spice it up somehow. I think that's why it's more accepted.
With the GSL and Korean players, it feels like it's a marketing ploy. And a lot of them, their coaches told them to say that particular thing to build the hype. And some people
true.
are just
And it seems
naturally good
playful.
at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got people, they go for the handshake and they do they spin kick their handshake, or it's fun and it's in good faith. But then you also just have your players who are known for having a bit of an ego, and Stefano's one of those players.
Yes, and whatever you do ahead of a game, if you say you're going to 4-0 them, that really doesn't matter. But if you're unwilling to give a handshake at the end of the tournament, it is a little rude. I absolutely agree. Mm-hmm. I think this has to do a lot with, one, we're nerds, and we all have our social oddities, one of which is that a lot of us seize up when we're uncomfortable or angry. Oh, yeah. And also, it's a 1v1 game. So you either blame the other guy or you blame yourself. And it's real hard to blame yourself sometimes after you worked hard to get there. So naturally, you're going to throw it all on the other guy or the game itself. I'm sure, with team games like League of Legends, like Dota, those guys probably trash talk their own team into the ground when they lose, because that's who you have to blame.
I totally had one of those moments where I got so angry from stuff that had happened that I had to excuse myself from the group of people I was with.
Yeah, it happens.
Just this past weekend.
And with real sports, they go up to an established figure. They never go to the coach who you can tell by his lips that he's been yelling obscenities this whole frickin' game. They always go up to the lead guy, the
poster child.
Exactly, the poster child, who is currently also a millionaire. So this game isn't affecting his winnings or anything.
Oh, yeah, we lost the Super Bowl, but I don't know how I'm going to deal with it. I just am going to go home to my jacuzzi full of $100 bills and have to wash this off.
I don't know how I'm going to make it through the day. The system can't support me. One league isn't enough.
Yeah. Man, could you imagine if that's what it was like?
If they were begging for multiple leagues and it'd be a whole different world.
No, I meant if esports was like the NFL. You just got these guys rolling in dough.
Oh my goodness. I don't know actually if the skill would keep up, because people are constantly trying to dethrone one another. And that's really one of the more exciting things about it. Mm-hmm. And to have we do with EG, in a sense. We have established players who are making daily income.
Right. Exactly. Obviously, it's not to the level of professional sports, but...
No.
Yeah. More Chaos writes in and says, "Greeting, gents from across the pond. What is your favorite ability or upgrade that no longer exists?" He said that I think my favorite has to be the amulet upgrade for High Templars. The chaos that ensued from those lovely warp prism warp-ins. Loved it.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, he also said, "P.S. Thanks for the tweaked audio codes. Amazing value for us in the UK." Yes, I've been getting a lot of props from UK listeners recently, because they're just like, no, there's no way it's free shipping to the UK. Oh my god, it really is. Oh my god, it was here really quick. Yeah, good. Check them out, UK listeners. Use the code StarCast, tweakedaudio.com. We love our sponsors. This is tough for me.
I know mine.
What is it?
Well, I guess ability upgrade, it's more of a nerf that happened. Mm-hmm. The range early on being taken out of Neural Parasite. Because you could grab a tank from beyond its range and certainly grab a Colossus outside its laser range. And nowadays, you never see it used. You're not going to put your infestor in danger like that.
Yeah, it's not. The risk is not worth the reward. For me, I'd almost say the same thing too. Mine's more of a nerf than a ability per se. What am I going to say? I play Terran. Oh yeah, I really miss Research Siege mode. Yeah, yeah. There's nothing I liked better than plopping down that tech lab and waiting an additional 90 seconds or however. I don't actually remember how long it was off the top of my head to research siege mode.
Not instant.
I definitely miss being able to drop a barracks without making a supply depot. Those were the days.
Yeah.
Beautiful stuff. Other than that, I don't think any abilities have been removed. Everything's been pretty much rolled in. Now Reapers are just automatically fast. Now Siege Tanks automatically have siege mode. There's nothing in my mind I can think of.
There were some wacky ones. I mean, even in the original beta, there was an ability on the Infestor that would enrage a single unit and make them attack. I think it was
Frenzy or
twice
whatever.
as fast. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was absolutely nuts.
And make them giant and red, and it looked ridiculous. And nothing like StarCraft.
But I'll say my favorite ability I'm glad is gone is the amulet upgrade for High Templars.
Yes. I think
so
the
glad
world
that's not here
around
anymore.
rejoices in the fact that we can't have our entire supply line destroyed in 2 casts.
Yeah. That from a unit that literally just warped in.
Yeah.
Yeah, not good stuff. Glad
It was
that's gone.
awesome, though. It was good fun.
Die in a fire and stay dead. Burn it and then burn the ashes. So, anyways,
It probably actually wouldn't be that big of a deal anymore with the bonus damage that ghosts do against Psy. You could probably snipe them before they even came out. It'd be real cool to see, actually.
Yeah.
But hey,
no.
I don't want it back. I don't want to have to deal with that. But it could lead to some interesting scenarios.
It could. Chat room, by the way, I realize a lot of people have left now that we're reaching the end and WCS is going on. But if you're still hanging around and you wanted to ask a question, feel free to do so now. We'll take some live chat room questions. Those are always fun. They can be on topic or off. Feel free. It's the end of the show. We don't discriminate.
I think they're all watching WCS.
Yeah, apparently Alive is not doing well. That's not good. Oh, now he is. Oh, I don't even know. Damn. It's like trying to, Yeah, I think they're all watching WCS, so we'll just wrap... Oh, wait! You has a question? What is your question?
Why haven't you ended the show so we can watch WCS?
It's because you're holding us up. He's probably typing a book. Oh, it says, sorry, Alive is getting stomped. Okay.
It's okay.
Anyways, thanks to those of you who left us 5-star reviews in the iTunes chat room. Big thanks to Aver1346. Thank you for your 5-star review. If you haven't left us a review and you're a podcast listener, it's the best way to help out the show and not spend a dime. So we thank you for your reviews. StarCast is a production of amove.tv. You can find this and many, many other awesome shows like This Week in Blizz and our new show, The Campaign Roundtable, which we just wrapped up a 3-part... I don't know, what would you even call it? A 3-part run covering the BioShock Infinite campaign.
Yes, and this final chapter was a extravaganza of confusion, bummers, and appreciation.
Yeah. Yeah, indeed. It's a good mind effort. Yeah.
That's BioShock Infinite ending for you.
Yeah, indeed. TheStarCast.com is the place to go for our forums, archives, our t-shirts. Go check out our new t-shirts. They're awesome. The new print is great, and our new partners who are printing them, /loot.com, are wonderful. So go check them out, because that's another way that you can support us with money, as opposed to free. So check out the new shirts from /loot.com. They look great. We record live every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/thehandsomenerd. You can come tune in live. You can hang out. You can chat in the chat room, ask us live questions. We did get one gentleman asked if we could have a Nidus buff, what would that buff be? Kyle. What would you like buffed? Serious or ridiculous?
Well, I really wanted that giant turret one that came out, much like the...
Oh, that we saw at BlizzCon?
Yeah, the boss you fought on Xeris was that model. But honestly, what I'd like is just some broodlings. Just kind of pumping out, maybe 3 every 5 seconds or something.
You have swarm hosts. Just launch swarm hosts.
Just a little something for the swarm.
Okay, all right.
You've seen the GIF, right, of making sure you put your banelings in first, though?
No.
Oh, it's awesome. Because, of course, in a ZVZ, the lings are going to get there first. And if banelings are the first thing popping out, and that thing's surrounded with zerglings, they're all gone.
Oh, I haven't seen that. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, that's absolutely wonderful. Yeah, I got nothing for a Nidus buff. I really don't know. I don't. Use
Let's
them
just
enough.
go lame and give it some more health.
Yeah, like I wanted like that cinematic from Heart of the Swarm. I want one of my units to be able to ride it and punch something. I want to actually melee something with the Nidus Worm.
That was pretty awesome.
Or when they die, they become debris that you have to then destruct. That'd be interesting. None of this will ever happen. They're terrible ideas. Don't listen to me. Don't do it. It's bad. Thank you for your question. You can email the show at starcastshow@gmail.com or call us and leave us a message at 941-882-0281. Make sure you catch our VODs on youtube.com/StarCastShow. I don't feel like I pimp our YouTube enough. It's a relatively new development, but we have all of our shows over at youtube.com/StarCastShow. You can catch This Week in Blizz over there. You can catch the Campaign Roundtable, and of course, you can catch StarCast. And I've been updating it every week. Obviously, really old back catalog stuff isn't on there because it was audio only back in the day. But there's a good collection of stuff.
Hey, but let's throw, some more support your way, man, because you put together an awesome-looking site with amove.tv. YouTube's great, but the sexiest place you can watch the videos is clearly amove.tv.
Yes, it's good stuff. Go check that out. Bookmark it. Things I don't pimp enough. I do a lot of crap, so if I pimped everything to its full extent, it'd be a long show. So, anyways, let's quickly get through the rest of this pimping. Follow us on Twitter at the StarCast. I am at Garrett Art. Kyle is at Kyle Fergusson. And big thanks to our production crew, Octane Pro and Captain Noobing. And finally, check out nomoonart.com for all of my stream design work. If you need a freelance graphic designer, I am your dude. Check it out. Kyle, where can people find you?
You can also find me at Biggest Fan Podcast, where this past week, well, poor Brocket's cat got injured. So he went to the little kitty hospital. He's okay.
Oh, good.
But we ended up doing emergency cats, talking about cats the whole time. It is ridiculous how that man and I can go on about almost nothing with a small pile of trivia.
I wish I had known you guys were doing cats. I would have guessed it on that with glee.
It was a really fun episode. So next week we'll be magicians, and that now do you see me, or now you see me, or let's explode into money. And then the next week after that will be Arrested Development.
But how'd I get in the boulder?
The what?
It's from the new season of Arrested Development.
Oh, I haven't watched it yet. I'm sorry.
Okay. Dead dove, don't eat. Do you know that one?
No. Buster just went to the army where I'm at, so.
Oh, okay. Well, you should have been around for the dead dove. He's always killing his magic, the pets he's supposed to pull out of different things. And he keeps there's this episode where he accidentally kills a dove that's supposed to fly out of his sleeve. So he puts it in a paper bag, puts it in the freezer because he wants to return it. And it says, dead dove, do not eat. And Michael opens it up and just goes, I don't know what I expected.
I do remember that now.
It's one of my favorite jokes from the show. Check out our sponsors, DoghouseSystems.com, TweakedAudio.com, and SC2QuoteOfTheDay.com. Our code is StarCast, and that code gets you double memory on your next Doghouse Systems gaming rig and 30% off and free shipping on your entire order from TweakedAudio.com. And then make sure you go and get yourself the iOS app for SC2QuoteOfTheDay.com. Just search for QOTD in the App Store and download that app and keep up to date on all the awesome quotes from the StarCraft 2 community. Guys, that is it for episode 155, and we will see you next week. Have a good night.
Take care.